forced to do this. I feel like I've been forced to check in. I wanted to just jump right into content, but Dr. Smith has twisted my arm, and so I'm gonna check in because we got the Super Bowl champion Dr. Smith in the building. So, Doc, how you doing?
We good, baby. We still riding high off the Super Bowl champ. Kansas City in the building. Shout out to Pat Mahomes, Kelsey, and the whole squad. We fresh off the Super Bowl parade a few days ago. So it's all good in the city. It's all good.
Now, let me ask you a question, right? And I'm not trying to be funny, right? Because I know the proficiency level for students in Kansas City. Did they get the day off?
Yes, it was a red snow day. Yes, we was kicking it the whole day.
Y'all got the whole day off.
The whole day, yes.
And
yes.
kids can't read.
If the Giants and the Jets ever win a Super Bowl, you'll know something about that.
Priority.
Not.
Yeah, you ain't gonna know. Just win the Super Bowl, which it will probably never happen in our lifetime again. No. But if they do, we're not taking no days off. Ball, future Dr. Ball, how you doing, sir?
I'm great. It's good to be with y'all this evening. Had a great day of professional development today, so that was exciting.
Dr. Ball, those some new headphones look like Beats.
No, these are Sony's.
Oh, wow.
You better ask about him, boy.
Hey,
he a blue ribbon winner. He a blue ribbon principal. You better ask about him.
That's right. I don't play.
You better ask about him.
Hey, that's the energy that I needed today.
That's it. Let's go. So
we got a guest today. We got Dr. Sorden on here in the building. From New York, from the great state of New York, in the South Bronx too. But Dr. Smith is gonna read the bio.
Yeah. So people, we got a treat for y'all today. I've been working on this, trying to get this amazing education leader on here for about 6 months, and we was finally able to make it happen. So a little bit about Dr. Sorden. Since February 2000, Dr. Alexis Sorden has served as an educator in the New York City Department of Education. She has served as a classroom teacher, literacy coach, and director of achievement. Throughout her tenure for the past 9 years, she has served as principal. In 2013, Dr. Sorden founded Concourse Village Elementary School located in the South Bronx. South Bronx, stand up today. The school serves 308 scholars from grades 3 through 5. Alexis has a strong passion and commitment to education. In particular, her goal is to bring quality and rigorous education to all children, regardless of their zip code. In 2017, Alexis received the Ryan Award for Transformational Leadership. In 2018, under Alexis' leadership, Concourse Village received the National Blue Ribbon Award for exemplary performance. Hold your tongue, sir, until I'm done. Then in 2020, Dr. Sorden received the National Award for Equity and Excellence from the National Center of Urban Schools. Dr. Sorden is a graduate of a teacher college in Columbia University, and this past spring, she earned them letters and became a part of the fraternity and got her doctoral degree in educational leadership from St. John's University. Dr. Sorden in Concourse Village Elementary was awarded the honorary CLN Primary School Accreditation in Human Flourishing, Language and Literacy and Democracy at the CLN Inaugural Awards Gala back in July of 2022, making Concourse Village Elementary the first CLN accredited school and Dr. Sorden the first CLN accredited school leader in the nation. So people in the comments, give it up for Dr. Sorden in the building.
I put my foot in my mouth, man. Let me take my foot out my mouth.
I told you, boy, you should have Googled Dr. Sorden.
Hey, I don't be liking to Google people, man. I don't want people to think that we stalking or anything like that. But Dr. Sorden, I apologize. You and your blue ribbonness, and future Dr. Ball, you and your blue ribbonness as well. Like, hey, listen, blue ribbon is in the building, so we about to have an excellent conversation. So, Dr. Sorden, take us in. So, blue ribbon distinction, how you do it in the South Bronx?
How do I do it? I forgot to add to the bio that I am a diehard Eagles fan.
Oh boy!
We can skip past that.
I wish I would have said that prior to agreeing to this now. But it's all love. I'm here now. So you want to know how we get blue ribbon?
Yeah. Well, I want to know what's going on with your internet if you in the South Bronx.
So currently I'm in the Hamptons on a work retreat. And I'm in
I'm in the Hamptons area. It is fine.
Can you hear me?
I'm in the Hamptons too, and my internet is just fine.
Well, I'm struggling right now. I apologize.
Okay. So talk to us about your blue ribbon distinction.
So we earned that in 2018 for exemplary performance, meaning our students got that solely for not progress, because you could still be potentially performing behind the bar, but they got it for being exemplary for 5 consecutive years. And like that's why the big deal about not determining your success by the zip code, like that statement was very important because our school is located in the poorest congressional district in the nation.
Yep.
And they receive that for exemplary performance, not progress.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So I guess so. My question coming in, and I'm not hogging the mic. I just need to do a fire off right real quick. Right. So a lot of time. Well, so Ball, talk to us about your blue ribbon distinction. I want to compare and contrast.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. We performed at a high academic level for the existence of my school. Probably, I say that I stand on the shoulders of the 3 previous principals before me, but I think pretty consistently we're a high performer in academics in all different areas. I think that one of the things that we like to highlight was the extracurriculars and the elective programs that we have as well, not just the test scores, but that helped us stand out with all the different things that we offer with the world languages, with the drama, with fine arts and cooking, just a variety of different programs that our school and teachers established really helped us earn that blue ribbon.
Yeah, so thanks for sharing that. I got to set the stage though, right? Because we got the Kansas City Middle School Principal of the Year. Sir? What were some of the things that you did? And I'm setting the stage up for this conversation that we about to have from these esteemed school leaders as we talk about synergy. But I gotta let you get it off, man. So Kansas City Principal of the Year, what did you do at your school that differs from what other school leaders might have done for you to achieve that type of award?
So for me, my main thing is, I've said it over and over again, like, to lead by example. The same thing I want my teachers doing with students is the same thing I want to do for my teachers. We all about culture and climate. Our first priority in my building is relationships. So what are we doing to build relationships with our students, with our parents, with our community partners, with each other? So that's the main thing. And then, I'm always about elevating my teachers, showing appreciation, and elevating them, showing them the work that they're doing, especially in a time that we're going to talk about a little bit later with teacher burnout. And I'm just, super excited to know that as of right now, like 97% of my staff is coming back next year. I got 3 teachers retiring. So, but that's, that's a testament to my team and what we've done to really show teachers the appreciation that they deserve. So relationships is the big thing I think that's carried us over the last 4 years. And that has allowed me to have this amazing honor as Kansas City Principal of the Year and a finalist for the state of Missouri Principal of the Year. So what should be announced here in the next week or 2. So we'll see how that goes.
So you're a finalist this year?
I'm a finalist for the Missouri Principal of the Year. Yes, I am.
Big Blue. Let's go, Big Blue. I see you. I see you in the building. Let's go. Let's do it. So Dr. Sorten, right? When you go about hiring teachers in the South Bronx and a DOE school, what are some of your look for?
So one of the things I look, I don't want it to sound corny, but I look like for good people. So I'm not necessarily impressed like by where you went to school or if you know a lot about a particular pedagogical approach. I'm looking for like, are you a person that brings joy, passion, commitment, dedication, determination? Are you kind? Do you like kids? So I look for things like that because those are the characteristics that we, for the folks that we want in front of our kids. Our students are actually a part of the hiring committee. So they also make decisions as to who are the teachers that they choose to work with. So when it comes to like content and stuff, that's something that we would tailor based on how our school functions, but we really look for good people.
Yeah. So you just hit on something, right? And I think on 8 Black Hands on Sunday, we were having this debate in terms of like the student voice. And so I was sharing with the fellas an experience that I had in terms of like involving one of our high schoolers in curricular decisions in terms of just making sure that our curriculum in the 3rd and 6th grade is culturally aligned with black excellence. And so you just said that you use students as a part of your hiring process. Can you talk to us a little bit more about how you do that?
So the children, for example, the teacher has to commit to conducting 2 demo lessons. And the children know this teacher is interviewing to work for you. She's interviewing so that to see if you are willing to allow her to stand in front of you for 6 hours a day. So the children are looking closely. Then after she does that demo lesson, they'll give her feedback and I'll give feedback and so will teachers. And then we'll see the second demo lesson to see if they were able to implement it. After that, the students will then go into a panel and ask questions from what they observed. And they have like a set of questions that they're looking for, but most of their questions are grounded on our core values, which is integrity, perseverance, optimism, willingness, empathy, and respect. And that's usually how they structure their questions. And then we have a meeting, the teachers, the students, and I, and then we make decisions based on the demo, based on how the person's supposed to also stay with us the entire day. So they commit to being with us from 8:45 to 3:05. So we could see the person in their true essence. And then the children and the teachers and myself, we make a decision as, is this someone that we want to give a call back so they could be a part of our community? Because we're letting them into our circle.
Yeah.
Hey, so my thing is, imitation is a blessed form of flattery. That's one of the things, I really truly believe in. And like I said, I've been following Dr. Sorden for a couple of years now, and the amazing things she's doing out there. So I want to speak on this whole students in the interviewing process. So I'm in the process right now of hiring a new assistant principal, as my one of my assistant principals, Miss Williams, is going off to be a principal in one of our elementary schools. Shout out to her.
Hey, so wait, bro. That's Bill Belichickian right there.
Oh, so this is my second person I've sent off to be a principal.
We
need to talk about the leadership tree. You know what I'm saying? We out here Andy reading it, But
no, we're not Andy reading it, because Andy Reid can't get my man a job. So we're not Andy.
Well, he went to Washington now, so he's gonna get a job now. He's going to
Bill
Washington.
Belichicking it. But all right, go ahead.
But so one of the things that I went to my team was like, I definitely want to have student voice in this process of interviewing the assistant principal, because like I said, that was something I knew Dr. Sorden was doing with her teachers. And I don't think we quite hear that for teachers, but I do feel like this assistant principal piece is one of the, real cornerstones of our school. So it took some pushback from our teachers. They're like, oh, why do you really want to do this? Are you sure? But I really believed in it. So, because I seen how amazing it's worked out for Dr. Sorden. So I finally has convinced the team to allow students to sit in on this interview panel with our APs. But then also we're going to have another, basically the final round, where we'll have about 2 or 3 finalists for that piece, where they will come in and do a performance task evaluation, where we're going to give them a real life scenario that we faced this year, and how they would coach a teacher. And then after that, they will then visit classrooms to provide feedback on what they saw in the classrooms. So really, like I said, trying to adopt some of the principles that I've seen Dr. Sorden do over the years into my own building. So,
hey, Ball, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. They're gonna come in, they're gonna do all that, they're gonna jump through hoops to get the job, and then when they come in on the first day, they're gonna fall flat on their face because they put in all that energy in order to get the job.
I don't know. I like it. I like those processes.
So, Dr. Sorden, I'm gonna let you in a little secret. You notice who the hater on our team is?
I know.
You always got to have one. Okay, I just want to make sure you picked up on that. I just want to pick them up. And mind you, he is superintendent. That's the part I really don't get.
Well, Ball, you say you like processes, man. What are some of the processes that you put in order to enhance student voice?
I honestly, we're going to adopt something similar. I've been fortunate. I'm in a big school district, and I am part of a committee that's revamping our human resources processes when it comes to the application, what it looks like when we post it online, where we're going to recruit, the questions that we ask in the interviews, and who's making up those panels, and the decisions that are being made, including more voices and no's. So I am really looking forward to expanding the opportunity for students to enter the process for us as well. It's something that I've done in different places, not in my current district, but I'm looking forward to it being something that we utilize, because we definitely have some great opportunities for students.
And I feel like with that whole process, and one of the things that I've had the opportunity to hear Dr. Sorden speak on, having student voice, and she talked about hiring the right teachers, stuff like that, is this thing that I've seen her do in her school system with creating synergy across the building. So I would love to tap in and just have her talk about that process of what she's done to create that synergy within her school. But then also what if you can go back to Dr. Sorden in her first year as a principal, with all the wisdom you have now, what would be the advice you would give to her in that creation of synergy across your school community? So,
Dr. Sorden, before you jump in with these Ivy League Catholic school big words and stuff, can you center us in synergy so that lay folks like myself know what that means, so that we can participate wholly as our authentic selves?
All right. So synergy.
Hold on 1 second, Dr. Sorten, because like I said, he has a hater, so I have to come in and clean
What are
it up.
we doing? What are we
Like
doing?
synergy, bro. Like that's why you ABD now. Go ahead, Dr. Sorten.
I just finished my chapter 5 today. But all right, go ahead.
Oh, so synergy is a state of cooperative interaction where different participants contribute to common goals. So when I think about that, I'm like, how are we all? We're all individuals. However, we're working collaboratively for one common goal, which is the success of our scholars, right? So the way that I bring that to life, I have to understand the talents and strengths that each individual in my building brings. And then I have to utilize that to put them in positions where they're working on roles that maximize their personal strengths. So for example, in grades K through 5, we're departmentalized. So teachers, ELA social studies, math and science. And in 5th grade, there's a science, math, and humanities teacher. But I was able to see what are their strengths. And it's hard to manage all content and to be excellent across all of them. So therefore, what makes sense? Tap into your strengths so that I can maximize that and the children win. I also celebrate and acknowledge personal and professional milestones. So when they do well professionally, how do we acknowledge them publicly? When something awesome happens in their personal life, whether they had a baby, got married, got engaged, or received their master's degree, we celebrate them publicly. So I'm very deliberate about creating a positive school culture. And that's what makes it easy for us to work cooperatively together to make sure that our students succeed, if that makes sense.
Perfect sense.
And you asked, like, do you want to know, like, what are the steps that I take to make that happen?
Yes, please.
All right. So, for example, for professional development, one of the sessions was we cook together. So I have this company I work with called Success in Motion. They bring their all the equipment that we need, and we made jerk chicken tacos. While that's happening, we're singing karaoke. Another time is a paint and chat.
Oh wait, hold, stop. How you seasoning this jerk chicken?
With jerk chicken sauce.
That's cheating. But all right, go ahead, continue.
Oh my God.
I'm not in charge of the ingredients, but it's really good. And then we do like paint and chats, and the questions posed are questions to get to know each other better. I visit classrooms like just to sit without officially observing. I have an open door policy. Like I have 2 doors. They're both always open. Folks just come in. I do like genuine check-ins where I'm going, like, I know your mom was sick, or I know your baby was sick. Like I go check in on you. Is there something you need me to help you with? If one of my teachers is pregnant, I check in to see if she needs to use the restroom. So it's just constantly leading with like empathy, but being like coming at you just with sincere love. Yeah. So then when I do need something, you're like, you're willing to give it because I've given you already so much of my true love that helps that idea of us meeting the common goal, which is our students' emotional well-being and academic success.
So it sounds like, and I don't want to minimize the work that you're doing because it sounds like you're doing amazing work, but aren't you kind of like setting up the stage for us to just be good people? Because like if we're good people, then a lot of that stuff kind of falls in line, right?
Yes.
But even she said though, go back and we talked about the hiring practice. She said, I want to hire good people.
Of course.
Like she's like, that's where everything was the foundation when she said from the beginning.
Yeah. I'm just naming it. You ain't got to get on the defensive. She's right here. She can protect.
Well, I feel like I have to protect her from you because you're such a hater.
No, no, that's not how this is working, man. This is hate out of love. Hate out of love.
Pressure plus types is cool.
Dr. Ball. I'm putting it out there, man, because you know this dude just came in my ABD status. Dr. Ball, what are some type of things you're doing in order to create synergy on your campus?
Yeah, I think we just did some today. We had a professional development today. We're talking about grading and assessment. We got some teachers involved in that professional development that are doing some standards-based, evidence-based, learner-centered assessment, and I think it's working with teachers being able to see, wow, that has actually happened. That's moving away from the traditional type of grading. But then we have an Indian Student Association, like from the country India,
Yeah.
They put on a Holi festival. Holi is one of their traditional holidays that's celebrated in March. But they were able to do a performance for us for about a half hour. Then their parents brought in lunch for us. So we had Indian lunch, and I mean, it was just a great time to socialize, connect with our community, connect with staff, and I think that incorporating those types of activities into our day, I mean, that's building the culture that we need, where our families feel like, hey, we're a part of this thing, and the students are too, and we just had a good time with that.
Yeah. So, so I've picked up on some things since being on this podcast, right? And you know how they say imitation is the highest form of flattery, and so I think that we got a biter on this podcast because I'm starting to feel like all of these Grandview Middle School gestures that are happening with these food trucks and all this other stuff didn't necessarily originate at Grandview. This stuff was stolen from Dr. Sorton. Sir, would you care to speak on that?
I never said that I originated anything. Like I said, you never asked that question. You asked what I was doing at my school. I told you things. I never tell you where the source came from. You didn't ask me to quote or cite my sources or anything like that. Like, and I've been telling you for 6 months, like, bro, you need to get Dr. Sorton on the show. Like, she the bomb. Like, I've been telling you for 6 months. You the one that's late to the party. Like I told you before we started, you should have Googled her. You came on the pre-show talking smack, and then I read her bio, and then you had to, take your foot out your mouth. So I feel like before we go any further, you owe this woman an apology. That's just my opinion.
So, Dr. So I thought I apologized.
No, we want a public apology.
A public apology? All right. Dr. Sorton, I apologize. I underestimated the brilliance that you possess, and not because of anything else other than the fact that you work where you work. And I know that historically, where you work has underperformed a great deal. And so the fact that you are doing the work that you're doing in the place that you're doing it, huge and major kudos to you, because that is a hard place to work. I visit some schools there, and every time I go, I'm scared for my life, and I don't want to go back. And so I applaud you.
Next time you're in town, just let them know you know me.
Hey, Dr. Sorton mean ring bells in the Bronx, bro. You better ask. Hey, so real quick though, Dr. So let's get back on topic real quick. So one of the things that we're all about on the podcast is free PD. That's one of our major hashtags, free PD. So one of the things I would love for you to talk about is your peer observation program that you have running in your school, and kind of just walk people through how that got set up, and if somebody wanted to reduplicate that, how that would look.
So one of the things we have is called professional growth partners. And I developed that with the mindset that I wanted teachers to have ongoing feedback. And at the time I was the only administrator. Like I got a assistant principal 2 years ago, but for the first 8 years of my career, I was by myself. So having a professional growth partner meant that I could pair teachers together for about 6 to 8 weeks, or 8 to 10 weeks, depending on what time of the year it was. And they would observe each other every week. So I would know how to pair them. Like if you were great at discussion and I was great at modeling, and that was what I needed, and this is what you needed, we would pair together, and you would observe me every week for 15 minutes. You would give me feedback, then I observe you, and that would go on for a cycle of professional development, basically amongst themselves. And what happened is that they started to learn a lot from one another, and stronger relationships started to form as a result of that. So I do it 3 times a year. The first time, the way that I group them is based on someone else that I want you to know. So if you're a first grade teacher, you may most likely be paired with a 5th grade teacher, because the likelihood of you conversing throughout the day may be low because you're on different grades. So I want you to get to know somebody else in the building. The second cycle has to do with my observations. This is what I've seen are strengths and next steps, and then I pair you that way. The third cycle may be that I pair you based on what team you might be working in next year. So if I know that you will most likely be on the same grade level next year, I'll pair you intentionally so you could get to know one another. And then what happens from that is that teachers are receiving ongoing feedback every single week, where I may take 3 weeks to get around to each person. So I observed you now, I give you your feedback, I may be back in another 3 weeks. But with this process, you're getting ongoing feedback throughout the entire year. The teachers use a form called TAG, which is what they use with students when they're giving one another feedback. So tell me something you like, ask a question, and give a suggestion. So the teachers use that. They use low inference notes, and they will code according to the Danielson framework, but they won't provide a rating. Then after I observe you, I let you know one thing I'm taking away as a result of observing you. So that also makes the person being observed feel really good. So that has worked wonders in our school community. It's really united us and has really elevated the practices across our school.
Hey, so I know that was a lot for y'all, so y'all gonna have to really run this back on replay.
It wasn't a lot. It was your observations. Don't do that. like, what are you doing right now? Like, don't talk down to this audience. Like, there's not brilliance out there. We got Dr. Lee in the building.
And you see what Dr. Lee said. I love this concept. So, Dr. Lee, so this is why he ABD. So, when you learn something new, you have to go over it a few times before it gets ingrained and downloaded in you.
7 times.
So,
research.
Dr. Lee, what I'm gonna need you to do and everybody else, go ahead and tag somebody, like and share this so that they can get this wisdom that Dr. Sortin is dropping as well. And hopefully they're gonna discount what Ray's talking about because he on his normal
thing in the world that could happen. The worst thing that in the world that could happen this next month and a half is you receiving the Missouri State Principal of the Year award, because we'll never be able to live this down on this podcast.
Hey, when I do win, you the first person I'm texting.
Yo, hey, I should be the
first person I'm texting.
Hey, all your ideas come from me and Dr. Sortin, so I should be the first person.
I'm still trying to figure out what idea I got from you, but okay.
Hey, Doc, we're gonna celebrate you.
You know how we do, Ball. You know how we do.
Exactly.
You know how we do.
Good. Hey, Dr. Sortin, I just had a quick question, real quick, if I can follow up with. Did you get any pushback from your teachers when you implemented this peer observation?
No. And I give back something. They're entitled to 50-minute lunch, but what I do is they get an hour lunch every day. So I give them an additional 50 minutes a week. And the trade is you give me 15 minutes of observation.
Well, that's awesome.
I love that, because, like, honestly, if you're talking in minutes to teachers, especially teachers that work in a union, they hear you, right? They receive that, right? So, like, you're like, hey, I'm going to give you this in order for you to give me that. Yeah, because I was wondering as well, I'm like, well, how do you do that without mandating it? And then it made me think to what you said when you're talking about your hiring processes, and you're talking about hiring good people. Because if you're hiring good people, then those people are people that want to learn in terms of, like, being the best for their kids, right? And so I could see a way in which that could be done, or like how we do it, is intrinsically motivated. So I'm not necessarily giving them anything back per se, but they just want to be better teachers. So I've seen instances in which your idea in terms of, like, wanting to observe your peers and get better happen in an organic way. I think is real intentional to purposely have people paired based off of their areas of improvement, let's say. So I really like that. Thank you for that. I will take that with me. My question for you is, how do you get all this done in the bureaucratic DOE?
I'm very strategic in terms of my intentionality and the way that I guess maybe negotiate what the day looks like for teachers. So one thing, for example, like, so your teaching load is somewhat reduced because you only teach either one subject or two. You get the 1 hour lunch. I have a reputation for never having a missed prep. Our teachers do not have any missed preps. We actually probably have the best attendance in New York City. My teachers tend to have 100% attendance. They're probably like at 99% for last year, but for this year, it'll be 100%. We bring the students up from lunch, so teachers don't have to come down to lunch. If they had a prep before lunch, the prep teacher will take the students onto lunch. I also do not request a lot of paperwork. So I try to maximize their time for lesson planning, having conversations about good instructional practices, giving them time to look at their data. I've never had a lunch and learn in our building. I completely respect their lunchtime, and I find lots of ways to provide them with all the resources that they need. So I think because I give so much and I do so much, that's why I don't have like that level of pushback. that I've heard happens in other places. Also, I do have a model where I don't argue about what's good for kids. So if you have a problem with something that I'm doing that's good for kids, you may want to rethink where you work.
Oh, you talking my language now, Doc? That's what that's the energy that we need. Anyway, we gotta break off. We got folks that got commitments and stuff. But can we get you back for a part 2 when you got good internet?
With me?
Hey, so Dr. Shorter, we gonna definitely have to run this back for a part 2 because we didn't even get the half of stuff we want to talk about. So we will definitely connect. Like I said, I'm gonna be in the NYC in a couple weeks, so I'm gonna come through Concourse Village and holler at you, and we're gonna definitely try to get you on the schedule to get you back for a part 2.
So I just ask that you don't wear Kansas City gear. That's all I ask.
Oh, I'm coming Chief down. I can't
guarantee you safe passage if you do that. Like,
hey,
compromise me.
So really quick, I want to end the show with this, right? You got a compliment from someone who rarely gives compliments to anybody. So we got Doc in the comments that's like, Dr. Sorten is amazing, and we're gonna leave with that. We're gonna leave with that energy. Doc, I'm about to call you in a few minutes. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to the Engage podcast. We will see you soon, couple weeks. Smitty.
Peace.
Go Mob.
Dr. Sorten. Peace.